Hello and welcome to another online class on principles of economics. Today we're going to talk about gains from trade, which is still within that discussion of production possibilities frontiers. Let's have a look at an example of these two restaurant owners, Alan and Ben. And let's say they provide either a meal or a dessert in their restaurant. These are the times it takes them to make a meal or a dessert. It takes 20 minutes for Alan to make a meal, 5 minutes to make a dessert, and 30 minutes and 6 minutes for Ben. If the shift lasts for 4 hours, what would be their production possibility frontiers? In order to make charting quick in Excel, let me first create a table of these production possibilities frontier. For Alan, within the 4-hour shift, the maximum number of meals he can make is 12. Then the maximum number of desserts that Alan can make will depend on the remaining time from the shift after preparing the given quantity of meals. For example, if he takes all 4 hours to prepare 12 meals, then there will be only time left to make 0 desserts. Making only 11 meals per shift will leave 20 minutes, enough to make 4 desserts. In a similar fashion, I go all the way up this column. If, for example, Alan takes time to prepare 2 meals, he will have enough time left to prepare 40 desserts. 2 meals will take 40 minutes of his time. The remaining time is 3 hours, 20 minutes, enough to prepare 40 desserts. In a similar fashion, Ben can make a maximum of 8 meals, because each meal takes half an hour to make, and there are 4 hours in a shift. If Ben takes the time to prepare 8 meals, that will take all of the 4 hours, leaving no time to make any desserts. If Ben prepares 7 meals, that will take 3.5 hours, leaving enough time to prepare 5 desserts. In a similar fashion, if Ben doesn't take any time to prepare meals, within the 4 hours he can prepare 40 desserts. To draw the production possibility frontiers, just select the data, insert, scatter plot. There's your production possibilities frontier. Let's add a title so we know who is who, and a trend line to show the PPF itself. Similarly for Ben, insert a scatter plot, and you have your PPFs ready for both Alan and Ben. Next, let's move on to the actual gains from trade. We will see that if Alan and Ben specialize and exchange, the gains from trade will be shown by their ability to reach for previously unattainable combinations of meals and desserts. For example, on this Alan's production possibilities frontier, any point above that PPF is unattainable. However, if Alan cooperates with Ben, some of those unattainable points would become attainable. Before talking about the gains from trade, we need to talk about absolute and comparative advantages. Absolute advantage is simply being more productive at a task. Let's start with making meals. Alan is quicker in making a meal compared to Ben, so he has an absolute advantage in that. Alan is also quicker than Ben in making desserts, so an absolute advantage in that as well. So from the first glance, it seems that Alan is more productive in both of the activities. But the good news for Ben is they can still cooperate to the mutual benefit. Let's have a look at comparative advantage, which shows up with a lower opportunity cost of an activity. Let's start with making meals. Making a meal for Alan costs an opportunity of making 4 desserts. So 4 here, whereas making a meal for Ben costs an opportunity of making 5 desserts. So 5 here. Making a dessert for Alan only takes 5 minutes, in which time he would have lost an opportunity to only complete 1/4 of a meal. So the opportunity cost of making 1 dessert for Alan is 0.25. Similarly for Ben, within the time it takes to make 1 dessert, he can only complete 20% of a meal. So the opportunity cost is 0.2. Hence we see that Alan has a comparative advantage in making meals, as his opportunity cost is lower, 4 is less than 5. And Ben has a comparative advantage in making desserts, as his opportunity cost, 0.2, is smaller than Alan's, 0.25. To gain benefits from cooperation and trade, they need to specialize. They should specialize based on their lowest cost activity. For Alan, that's meals, and for Ben, that's making desserts. With specialization, Alan spends all of his time only preparing meals, that is 12 meals per shift. And Ben spends all of his time only preparing desserts, that's 40 desserts per shift. And after that, they trade, they exchange meals for desserts. The rate at which they exchange meals for desserts would be somewhere between 4 and 5. Alan would not give up a meal for less than 4 desserts, as that is his opportunity cost of that meal. And Ben would not buy a meal for more than 5 desserts, as that is his alternative opportunity cost of making his own meal. So these opportunity costs determine the exchange rate of number of desserts per meal. Say they exchange at the rate of 1 meal for 4.5 desserts. And in terms of the actual quantity, let's say they exchange 4 meals for 18 desserts. So Alan gives up 4 meals and receives 18 desserts. Ben receives 4 meals and gives up 18 desserts. In that case, Alan and Ben will end up with the following. Alan will still have 8 meals left, as he prepared 12 meals and gave up 4 for 18 desserts. So Alan will have 8 meals and 18 desserts. Ben will receive 4 meals and he will still have 22 desserts left, as he made 40 in the shift and paid 18 for the 4 meals. Now to see the gains, the benefits from trade, notice that if Alan decides to have 8 meals on his own without the exchange, he would not have been able to have 18 desserts as well. So this combination of meals and desserts is originally outside of Alan's production possibilities frontier. Similarly for Ben, if he decides to have 4 meals made on his own, he would not have been able to have 22 desserts at the same time. So this combination, 4 meals and 22 desserts, also places him above his original production possibilities frontier. Hence the benefits from trade.